I believe we have some things to talk about. You know what November means. Black Friday. One of the best sales day of the year, and I honestly am astounded by some of the deals I got this year because I, as you could tell, picked up a lot of things. I wanted to say this was probably the best Black Friday sale I've seen since probably 2015, 2016, and let's just say I spent a lot of money. I upgraded a lot of things, and even 2 games that I'm waiting on aren't going to be getting here in time for me to record this video, so I'm just going to mention them in passing. Now, again, I was astonished by this year's Black Friday sales. As you could probably see from the thumbnail and what you can see in this video, there was a lot. And we're going to get into it, because I did pick up a couple games not on Black Friday earlier in the month that I will mention just because they were on sale. But the first thing I want to mention is some non-full-on gaming pickups, right? Because I ended up upgrading my PC a little bit more. You guys know that I built my own computer this year, and I wanted to wait to Black Friday to get a little bit more of an upgrade for certain things. So I did. I ended up picking up another 32 gig kit of RAM, so I now have 64 gigs in this PC. I picked up a new monitor, the Samsung G5 Odyssey or Odyssey G5 34-inch 1440p curved monitor was on sale for like $230 at Walmart, and I have that hooked up. You really can't see it on the screen, but you do see this monitor over here now is the monitor I was using, my Asus 27-inch TUF monitor that I got about 3 years ago on Black Friday. I figured we're not just going to fall and retire this. We'll make space for it usually, or I'll probably use it as like a streaming setup or something, because this curved monitor is wild, just kind of looking at it. And then the other upgrade I got for the PC was I bought another 2 terabyte SSD, Samsung 980 Pro, I believe. I have a 990 Evo in there also, as well as some older hard drives. This thing has now 6 terabytes of space, 64 gigs of RAM. This huge monitor setup, and yeah, I think I'm probably done upgrading it for a little bit. The only thing would probably be down the line a GPU. I'm stacked here right now. Now, let's get into some other pickups, actually, before we get into the gaming things, because I do like to mention this in bypassing every year, because I picked up some media pickups. I picked up 5 vinyls, actually. I picked up Snoop Dogg's Doggy Style, Eazy's Easy Does It, Stevie Wonder's Someday at Christmas album, the NSYNC Christmas album, and the new Billie Eilish album, Billie Eilish album that has Birds of a Feather on it, just because I love that song. Great song. Great music pickups. I did get some movie pickups. I bought like Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, Apollo 13, some movie called Thanksgiving, and I did finally got my hands on Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, the murderous Winnie the Pooh movie that I wanted to see when it was in theaters. Never got the chance to, but now I can finally watch it, because that's just a movie that's so absurd that I think I'm going to really enjoy it, even though it didn't really do well on Rotten Tomatoes for my knowledge. Now, this is why you guys are here. The gaming pickups. And I want to think I went a little overboard, but too late now, right? So I've never, just to get into the 2 big ones first that are kind of staring you right in the face, I've never played around with VR before. And this Black Friday, not only was the Oculus, the Meta Quest 3S on sale, came with a copy of Batman Arkham Shadow, which was what really sold me on it, because I kind of wanted to play that game. It also came with a $75 credit depending the retailer that you bought it at. So I bought it through Amazon and got a $75 basically Amazon gift card. I cashed in reward points I had for it, so it ended up only costing me like $90. Decent enough. I really wouldn't have paid the $299 only because aside from the Meta Quest 3S, I also finally picked up the PlayStation VR 2. Now, this was marked down to $349 from like $500 and something change. I was never going to pay that, but $200 off, and it also came with Horizon, Call of the Mountain. A great little starting point, I think, a good price point that I was willing to pay. And I wanted to get those 2 out of the way because, like I said, I've never played around with VR. The biggest experience I had with VR was my childhood when I would go to the arcade machines, and I was disappointed because all the virtual reality machines that they had at the time were just always broken. So playing around with these two for the last week, they are very kind of interesting because the PlayStation VR 2, you have to just have it plugged into the PS5 at all time. There's no onboard storage and it's not wireless, so it is a cool experience as a PlayStation fan because the cord they give you is relatively large. There is also no onboard speakers. You have to plug in some headphones. But I was playing certain games the other day, like Job Simulator, and even just playing God of War Ragnarok, which doesn't have a offhand like a VR mode, but it kind of puts you in like a full screen theater mode, which I thought was kind of cool. It was an experience, something I didn't think was going to be as cool as it was. Same with the MetaQuest 3S. And the one thing I like about these is it has onboard storage. It has its own kind of operating system and its own interface, so you can literally just be like browsing Instagram or going through like watching videos, all in like a VR mode. I was playing Batman Arkham Shadow, as I mentioned. I did hook it up with Steam, and I was trying some Steam Link games. Some of them work better than others. I was playing Meta Horizons, which is almost reminds me of like PlayStation Home from back in the day, and that was all kind of cool. It's actually very odd being transported into a world like that. You know, being able to look down and see the gear of whatever character you're playing as. Sort of mesmerizing, different, odd, weird to me, but I really liked it. I also know I can't play these for multiple hours on end because I will start getting dizzy, and I didn't think I had like a motion sickness thing to me, but guess so as I'm getting older in my old age. So let's get into the rest of the game pickups, right? First off, a hit game that came out this year was marked down to like 40 bucks. No, was it 40 or was it 50? But whatever, it was on sale, and that is Astrobot. This is a platformer. People will rave about this game. I've played bits and pieces of Astro's Playroom when it was a pack-in for the PlayStation 5. I'm looking forward to playing this because I know the Astro mascot kind of digs into like PlayStation history, and to me that's super cool. Now, this next game I didn't get on Black Friday, but it was on sale on Woot, and that is Mario and Luigi Brothership. I've seen mixed reviews on this game. Some people hate it, some people love it, but I felt like I needed to play it. It seems like a fun little RPG from the Mario and Luigi series. I'm not going to think of it as a full-on AAA game, even though they might want it to be that way. I don't think they do, though. I think this is just a game that good for the holiday season, good for like kids. You're picking this up. Good for Mario fans. Good for me, I guess, right? The one thing I'm realizing is I bought this from Woot, and it's not the American version. It's the Middle Eastern, South Asian version. There's no ESRB, and then on the back it says like Middle East and South Asia. I'm perfectly fine with that. Sometimes I like when it doesn't have the ESRB logo, just because you get more of the cover art. This next game I did not buy on Black Friday either. You're probably wondering, when am I going to get to the full-on Black Fridays? They're coming soon. It's the Dragon Quest III HD 2D remake. I've been eyeing this game up for a while. I had it on pre-order. It got great reviews from what I've seen. Excited to play this. This was another one I got on Woot. Skull and Bones. This is a pirate T game by Ubisoft. I'm not sure I would like it, right? I know this was the game that I think was inspired from the combat from Black Flag Assassin's Creed, and I'm not very fond of boat combat in the Assassin's Creed games, even though people loved it, right? But I got this for like $8. I was never a Woot shopper until this month when I saw they run some interesting deals, and this, again, not a Black Friday pickup, but it was like 20 bucks at some point. Resident Evil 4. I played the original Resident Evil 4 for the GameCube. I absolutely loved it. And why I think this adds on to being a great pickup for this month is they released a VR version of this that works with the PlayStation VR 2. So I might just strictly play this in VR mode versus playing it in regular mode, or maybe I'll play it twice just to get a little bit of both. But I think that'll be a really, really cool thing. I didn't ever want to pick this up on the full price when this first came out, but for, 20 bucks, perfectly fine. Again, I picked up another game, Visions of Mana. Now, I love the Mana series. I played Secret of Mana. I played Trials of Mana. I have the Senken Detsu collection. I don't remember the actual Japanese name for it. And I loved all those games. Visions of Mana I'm excited for because it looks like it's a fun little RPG that brings you back to those elements of what made those games great. And I really just kind of love the art style to it. It's colorful, it looks cool. Now, I finally got my hands on this game for the Switch. And this is one of the early Switch games, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu. Again, it was a game that was on sale. And I wanted to kind of pick this up when it first came out, but I never did. I'm surprised you can still get new copies of this. I'm surprised this is still in print, to be honest. But yeah, might as well, right? Finally added to collection, play through it. I loved Pokemon Yellow. I've had that since launch day, back in '99, I believe. And, it was such a great Pokemon game for the time. Now, one game I picked up on Black Friday that people had told me I had to get, right? Because it's apparently a really great game, and it's an Atlas game, and that's Unicorn Overlord. This looks like a tactical RPG. It looks like it has a lot of personality to it. It kind of reminds me, low-key, of Dragon's Crown, but that kind of makes sense because it's made by Atlas. And yeah, I don't know if I'm going to like this game. I probably will. One game I've never heard about, but it's apparently a Quantic Dream game. Did not know that. So that's kind of cool. I picked this up because this was released by Limited Run on, not on Black Friday, but it was on sale on Black Friday. It's a game called Sea of Solitude. I love Quantic Dream because, Beyond Two Souls, Heavy Rain, that style of game. I guess this is going to be a very story-based game. I would think, a lot of their other games. Like I said, it was on sale. I'm always down to add more games to the Switch collection, just because I feel like they might end up a little bit rarer. Another kind of interesting series that I've played a few of them on the Switch is Deathmark series. You have the Deathmark series. Deathmark, you have Spirit Hunter NG, or NG Spirit Hunter, I forgot how it goes. And now there's Deathmark 2. This was on sale. I'm kind of hit or miss with Deathmark because they're visual novel games, very good stories, but there's not a lot to do if you're not really into visual novels, which I'm not really. Spirit Hunter NG kept me in there. That was a great story. I'm hoping this one does. I didn't really like the original story of Deathmark, I'll be honest with that. Another game that I've never really been a fan of, and I know it's sacrilegious growing up a PlayStation kid, I picked up the remastered versions of Tomb Raider 1, 2, and 3. Again, I have a love-hate relationship with Tomb Raider. I played a whole lot of it on the PlayStation 1. I believe I have Tomb Raider 2 or Tomb Raider 3. I have Tomb Raider 1 for the Sega Saturn. I have a bunch of Tomb Raider games for the Dreamcast. What's funny is I say I'm not a big fan of the series, but I sure own a decent amount of Tomb Raider games. And again, I picked this up. Now, I wanted to give this series another chance because the older games, when I play them now, they don't really play super, super great. So I hope that with these games, they added some quality of life improvements, and maybe they can finally keep me there to play through them all, because I know in the eyes of many people, these are classics. Another game, I'm going to say another game a lot, that just came out recently, I believe, that was on sale, was Rise of the Ronin. This game looks like it's made by Koei Tecmo and Team Ninja, which is the Ninja Gaiden people, but it kind of reminds me of Ghost of Tsushima, based on just, I guess, the samurai art style. I'm sure this is going to be a fun game. I don't know, what reviews this got, but I am all for playing this and seeing how well this is. A series that I've always loved is Hyperdimension Neptunia. I'm mispronouncing a lot of things today. A series I've always loved is the Hyperdimension Neptunia series. And I didn't even know this game came out, which shows how much I love them, I guess, is Neptunia Game Maker R Evolution. I am guessing this is going to just play the weirdness of the rest of the Neptunia series. Haven't bought a game from them in a while. Might as well, right? It was on sale. Like these, I think the rest of these are all Black Friday pickups. So I needed to pick this up when I saw it on sale. It's going to be a nice little fun RPG. A game that I never played, even though I always wanted to on the original Wii, was Epic Mickey. And if you remember a couple months ago, I picked up Epic Mickey 2 for the Wii U. Well, now I picked up Epic Mickey Rebrushed. This is, I guess, just a remastered version of the original game. It does graphically look really, really nice. So I'm excited to kind of see, how it plays. I've heard the original game was a lot of fun, so I'm hoping it still holds up. Now, with me picking up the PlayStation VR 2, I had to start picking up some PlayStation VR games. And some of the ones I saw that were worth getting online are the ones I found. This game is apparently the collector's edition of a game called The Light Brigade. Now, from the back of the game, it says it's a roguelike VR shooter with a realistic gunplay. I'm not sure if I'm going to enjoy this or be any good with it, but $20 game. Might as well pick it up for PlayStation VR 2, right? This game, I saw, and online it says if I was going to get the PlayStation VR 2, this was a game I kind of had to pick up, because apparently it's a really good game. It's called Song in the Smoke Rekindled. I'm guessing this is a remastered version of another VR game. Maybe it was on the PlayStation VR 1. But it looks like it's some kind of adventure game. It looks cool. It looks very colorful, very artistic. Single-player survival adventure game set in a vast, beautiful, and deadly world outside of time. Interesting. Definitely interesting. I'm hoping this ends up good. A game I've been wanting for a while was on sale. And it also is a recent release in the grand spec of things. Dragon's Dogma 2. Now, I played the original Dragon's Dogma on the Switch as a remaster, I guess they did, and I loved it. It kind of had an Elder Scrolls feel to it, and I'm hoping Dragon's Dogma 2 holds up to that standard. I think there was issues with this game when it first came out. Hopefully they're patched, but nonetheless, I wanted to play the sequel. Another game I wanted to play the sequel to, I was happy to finally get this because I bought the remastered version of the first one, and when this game first released, it was a digital-only exclusive, and I said I didn't want to play it or buy the game unless they came out with a physical version. That's how stubborn I am, and that's Alan Wake 2, Deluxe Edition. They finally came out with the physical version of it, and it was in limbo of a thought that this would never get a physical version, because for a while, I believe Remedy and Epic said they weren't going to put one out, and then they did. So I had to buy it. Alan Wake is a great little survival, kind of twisted horror game. So I'm hoping Alan Wake 2 is the same thing. Then I picked up Life is Strange Double Exposure. Now this game kind of just came out. It was already on sale. Life is Strange usually tends to go on sale for Black Friday, though, I've noticed. And this apparently goes back to the... I think it's the characters of the original game? Maybe? I've loved the Life is Strange series. It's always very interesting, very odd. It reminds me of Quantic Dream games to an extent. And they usually tell a decent story with it. One game I probably should have picked up a long time ago that I finally got my hands on is Elden Ring. Now, I've never been good at all at the Dark Souls games. I was decent at Bloodborne. I was decent at another game that was made by Bandai Namco that was called... not Scarlet Nexus. I haven't played that yet. Well, it's baffling me. I forgot what it's called. But it's like an anime-based kind of Dark Soul-y games. I'm always good with Souls-like games, oddly enough, but never actual Souls games. Elden Ring isn't technically a Souls game, so maybe I'll be good at it, even though it definitely is a Souls game. It's from Software. This game's been out for a while. I probably should have owned this 2 years ago when it came out. But, $20, it was on sale. Yeah, finally I'll pick it up. Another Switch game I picked up was Dragon Quest Monsters. I never really had an inkling to want to get this game, but it looks like a Pokemon version of Dragon Quest to an extent. I hope that's kind of what it is. And yeah, I'm excited to play that if that's along the lines of it. It seems like a cool little kids game. It's an E10 plus, so might as well be fun, I guess, right? I got another game that was off Limited Run's website called A Shady Part of Me. I've never heard of this, but the art style kind of reminded me of Little Nightmares to an extent. So I bet it's pretty cool, right? Looks like it's a puzzle kind of game. It kind of looks like also the puzzle styles of like a, what is it called? Brothers, like A Tale of Two Sons or something like that. I think that's the name of the game. I'm probably wrong. One game that just came out that I was surprised was on sale, but really not at the same time, was Sonic X Shadows Generation. I have Sonic Generations for the PlayStation 3. That was one of my earliest PS3 games, and I absolutely loved that game. Now, Sonic and Shadow Generations is pretty much a remaster of the first game, but now they've added Shadow to the game. So, is it good? The first game was fantastic. The original, at least you still got that in there, right? I think it's going to be a fun game. Sonic Generations, when it first came out, was just one hell of a fun game. Now, the last two games I want to mention are two VR games. They're probably very basic games because they're made by or published by the same company, Perp. I bought these because I kind of think I would know what I'm expecting with them just because, yeah. One of them is Tennis on Court. I figured I would get a tennis game just because with PlayStation VR, I probably would feel a little bit like Wii Sports to an extent. The other is VR Skater. I've never been great with skateboarding games or skateboarding in general, but I figured this would be kind of a fun game to play and have for the PlayStation VR 2. Now, the two games I want to mention before we end this video that I did not get in time for this video is one for the VR 2. I bought a game called Vertigo 2, which I thought was based on the Vertigo game, which it is, but not the Vertigo game I thought it was based off of. I think I might be wrong. I might just be talking out my head here, but there was a game called Vertigo, Alfred Hitchcock's Vertigo, that was like a very just story-based game based on movie Vertigo. I guess there's another Vertigo out there, and the other one was the Star Wars Heritage Collection for the Switch I picked up. That's actually getting delivered momentarily, like within the next couple hours. But I want to get this video out as early as possible just because that comes with 7 games. It comes with, I think, Knights of the Old Republic on there, so I can finally play that. I don't think I have that for the original Xbox or the PC, so it'd be kind of cool. And then, you know, Star Wars, I think it has like Jedi Racer and some of the old PlayStation games, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, which are the ones I grew up with. I used to be a big Star Wars fan when I was a kid, but then I just kind of fell out along the lines. So yeah, that's Black Friday, November 2024. What do you guys think of the pickups I got this month? Have you played any of these? What would you recommend going forward? And yeah, which of these is probably your favorite game? Sorry, I'm getting a little overwhelmed by looking at all the games I bought that it's leaving me speechless. As always, guys, leave your thoughts down in the comment section below of these games pickups for this month. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Until next time, game on. Tomorrow we start 24 Days of Tea 2024. If you're into that for my channel, because I've been doing it for years, and I'm excited for 24 Days of Tea 2024. Until next time, guys, I will see you. Bye.